your success in life is directly correlated to the amount of stress you can deal with. And this is true. It's kind of like air resistance. And when you look at cars or you look at jets or any of these things, how fast they can go is directly correlated to how much air is going to be pushing against them. No matter how successful you get, the more successful you become, the more the opposite force is going to push against you. And most people get to a certain level and go, okay, that opposite force is too much. But I just kept going and going and going and going and going. And now I'm up here at terminal velocity and the enemy force is coming at me. So, yeah, you're successful, but sure, it's very stressful.
I mean, if you have the mentality that you're born to suffer, I think you'll be pretty good at things. If you're born with the mentality that nobody should suffer, you're always going to be shit at things. I understand I was born to suffer. And truthfully, I mean, I'm very, very blessed with my life. A lot of people have said to me, you know, you're under stress. Like, how do you deal with it? How do you smile? This is nothing compared to the suffering I could. I mean, is it hard? Yeah, not really. I mean, I don't know. I was built to suffer. I wake up every day and go, what's on the menu? Let's go. And I'm so used to it. I'm kind of excited by it. The only period in my life where I could say where everything was genuinely perfect was about a month before I was arrested. And I've never been so anxious. I felt so anxious. I was in Dubai, all those videos from Dubai with the Bugatti and the big mansion and all the girls and everything, and me and Tristan were sitting around the pool, and I remember I've said this on every podcast, and I'm gonna say it again for the people at home in case their life's going good. If your life's going good, panic. I'm telling you, if your life's going well, worry. Because I was sitting there by the pool with the Bugatti and the McLaren and like 20 girls I'd never even met who were beautiful, and we're sitting by there and we got the big pool, we're in this huge mansion. Tristan goes, 6 years ago we were in Luton, we made it. And I was like, nah, we're fucked, something's coming. He said, what do you mean? I was like, I'm 36. I could not have completed life this level. I could not be the most famous man on the planet. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Bugatti on the drive. Like, nah. There's no way I can get away with this for the next 50 years. Something's coming. A month later, there you go. That's just how it goes. So I feel comfortable with the suffering because I feel like I have a direction and an objective. When I have endless suffering, I'm like, okay, well, I know what I need to do now. I mean, what's more frustrating? A video game where you can't beat the final boss? Or you know when you play those games and you get lost and you can't find the next part and you're just going around in circles? I've been in this room, I'm just going around and going around in circles. Those are the games that piss me off more than the game where I'm trying to beat the guy I can't beat. I'm happy fighting an enemy I might not be able to beat. I'm much more anxious when I'm lost. So I think when you accept that suffering is part of life, you get good at suffering and then you get good at things. If you're going to go through the world trying to make the world sufferless and yourself not have suffering, well then you're going to suffer more than anything. How successful you are in life is directly correlated to your stress tolerance. In fact, it's more correlated to your stress tolerance than anything else. Forget IQ, forget most nearly anything. If you're the guy who can deal with more stress than anyone else, you're going to end up in the position where you're dealing with more stress than anyone else. And those positions, one way or another, pay you. Because no one else will do it. I'm telling you, because that's the only way you can even separate yourself from the labor market in general, right? I can put myself in a position to do what others won't do. You gotta put yourself in a very stressful place. And that's the same with everything. It's the same with every fighting champion. They take the shot. I want the belt now, on 2 days' notice. I'll take it. That's how I won my first world title, 2 days' notice. So why do they become champion? Because they were the guy ready to fight for a championship without a training camp. They're that guy. So a lot of it is down to stress tolerance, but it is really interesting how these things apply to the individual and how these things apply to the macro.
And then I also said that men are judged on our competence. We're only judged and we're only cared about for what we can do.
Right.
Nobody gives a shit about our feelings. Nobody gives a shit about, there's none of this, oh, poor him. No one gives a fuck. If you're not useful to somebody or something, you can die in a ditch.
Yeah.
Not only do women not care about you, society doesn't care about you, and other men don't care about you. We all want useful friends. Yeah, I don't want no useless next to me. I don't know you. You can't do nothing.
Those are the worst.
Those are the worst. I hate them too.
They're leeches.
They're leeches. I'm misunderstood when I say these points. They think I'm saying don't love your wife. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't protect your wife. I'm not saying don't respect your wife. I'm not saying don't have a relationship with your wife. I'm not saying don't love your wife. I'm not saying any of those things.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that you're the man of the house, and that your power as a man is going to be amplified by the other men you know, and that you should be part of a clan or an army that makes you as powerful as possible, and that is man's business. And she is benefiting from all of that. She gets financial protection, she gets physical protection, she gets a whole bunch of benefits from you being a man with your guys doing your man things. She ain't in charge of you. It's not her business to tell you how the world works because she doesn't know. And it's not her business to tell you how to be a man either. It's her business, and be happy and be safe and be rich and make you smile, and that's her job. Because our job as men is to suffer all the time and be basically miserable. That's our job, and to get enough money so that we can make our kids and our women happy. You get to smile. You get to be happy. You get joy. You have that peace of mind because I gave it to you.
Yeah.
I gave it to you because you ain't got to work. You ain't got to do nothing. You don't know anything. You look at the clouds, you're happy. I'm glad for that. By extension, by logical extension, if you're the kind of person who's impressed by clouds, I would argue you're not allowed to have a differing point of view to mine because you don't know shit. You don't know anything. So when I do something or say something, even if you don't understand it fully, tough, get over it. Or leave and find another famous billionaire.
Right.
Good luck. But that's just the bottom line of it.
If I'm having a hard day, I never sit and think I need to talk to this person. Even if I have like my brother and some people I'll talk to, I may be venting a little bit, but I'm certainly not looking for advice on what to do. I always make the call on what to do. I always already know what to do. I don't go to anyone for support. I don't turn to people for support. I don't turn to my woman for support. I think one of the main reasons I have such a fantastic relationship with females is because I never ask them for that shit. I really believe the reason I have the adoration of females is because they're with a man who they never have to babysit, they never have to motivate, they never have to convince to put the video games down. They never have to sit and say to him, oh, it's gonna be okay. Like, I'm a rock. My life's great and it's on track with or without you. And I'm fine all the time. And when I have huge problems, because they do come up, I don't even mention it to my women. What I'm mentioning it to her to feel better. I mean, she can't fix my shit. So I wouldn't even, if let's say I lost $3 million in a day, which has happened before, I didn't even tell my girl. What am I looking for? Sympathy? Sympathy ain't gonna buy me money, ain't gonna put the money in the bank. So what the fuck? Like, I'm a solutions-based man. You tell me who I can talk to about getting my money back, and I'll talk. I didn't talk to my chick about it. She was, yeah, Bitcoin. Oh, I'll make you a coffee, dear. The thing can help me. So I don't turn to people for support or comfort. I don't. And I know that makes me extremely rare as an individual. And it's not something I'm not trying to brag or put on like a brave face and be a tough guy or something. It's just not how I'm conditioned. I believe that all of my problems are going to be fixed by me. That no one else is going to wake up and give a fuck about my problems the way I'm going to give a fuck. Nobody else is going to be prepared to go through what it takes to fix them but me. If I'm in the ring getting an ass kicking, not my coach, not my corner, not my fans, no one's going to get me out of there alive but me. It is me. So I turn to myself. If I have a problem, I'll sit in silence on my own. I'll turn to Andrew Tate and he'll get it done. Because I don't, that's really how I am. Yeah. But me personally saying, I don't know what to do, it's never even entered my mind. I always know what to do.
That God is quite careful with what he gives and what he takes away. I like to believe that the moral arc of the universe bends towards balance. You know, that you get what you deserve and you don't get what you don't deserve. Call me sentimental, but it's a nice way to look at the world. The bad things that happen to you, you deserved them because you fucked up. And the good things that happen to you, you deserve them too because you earned them. Because you earned them. Because you worked for them. Not because you bought a coin and waited, but because you actually worked for them. And this is the problem with crypto as a whole. You people think, if I buy this coin and sit and do nothing, I'll be rich. But how does that fit in with God's karmic plans? Why would God give an easy way out to a dipshit like you when there's people who are working and struggling and dedicating themselves all day, every day? Don't they deserve a way out? They deserve a hard way out, let alone an easy way out. But no, he's not going to give a way out to the people who dedicate themselves. He's not going to give a way out to the hard workers. He's going to give a way out to you because you bought a coin and now you spend all day on Twitter. No, doesn't make sense. No way was God going to make a pencil-dicked, skinny-armed dweeb like you rich for holding magic internet money. Couldn't happen. Couldn't happen. You gotta dedicate yourself, you gotta struggle. You gotta go to war. Get a job and buy more. If you really believe Bitcoin's going to the moon, you should be panicked to work and buy as much as possible. But instead, you believe Bitcoin's going to the moon, so you wanna read about it to give yourself hopium, imagining a future where you're rich with the tiny amount of Bitcoin you have because you don't wanna work. This is a very clear distinction
between a warrior who believes and goes to work to get more and a pussy who believes, so gives himself hopium and prays for a day where he can pay his bills. Do you understand? I have more of the coins that I don't even understand how they work than you do, and you probably read about it all day. And when it goes to zero, I don't give a fuck. I can buy more. You can't. What you need, sir, is a job. What you need, sir, for income is a job. God is never going to give you an easy way out. There's never going to be a time you send an email to a celebrity and say, $50,000 isn't even money to you and it would change my life. And the celebrity go, okay. Because I get those all day. That's never going to happen. You're never going to win the lottery. You're never going to hold a coin that just goes to the moon. None of it's ever going to happen. The only way out is shit. And you come out covered in bruises, scrapes, bumps, scars, you name it. You gotta fight through the brambles. The only way out is hard work. That's the only way out. You people deserve to be poor. Guys, karmic retribution. Hello, full circle. God has you because you needed it. You deserved it. God is not gonna let you get rich off fart coin. God won't. Forget the charts, forget Solana. God won't. You can't escape the hard work. If you try to escape the hard work, you get crushed like a pancake. The only way out is hard work and dedication. I don't want to hear any more about holding your bags. That's not a job. Scrolling Twitter is not a job. Writing in a Telegram group is not a job. Writing on Discord is not a job. Reading about how the SWIFT system is going to be replaced by Ripple, coming all over yourself, dreaming of an imaginary world where your $400 has become $4 million is not a job. None of it's a job. A job is where you build something that matters. It's where you dedicate yourself to something that exists. Because no matter how much bag holding or Twitter scrolling you do, when the price of your coin goes down, you end up poor. Whereas if you had a job and you were actually working, you would have something built. Even half a house is still a house. So none of you have done any work in years. This crypto dump, it's God's karmic retribution. The people who have dedicated themselves to have cash flow, to be paid cash money every month, will now have money to buy the dip. And the people who were sitting on their bags are here to be replaced. We're going to lose. Even if the coins go back up, you're going to be replaced financially by the people who were working. Because it is hard work and dedication. That's the only way out.
Truthfully, there's no light without dark, and every positive has a disadvantage, and there's always good and bad to everything. But I feel like you are always at the same level of contentment. It's kind of like, as a man, you're at a certain level of contentment with who you are. Some people are super depressed, and some people are super happy. But I'm no more or less content than I was when I was a struggling fighter who couldn't pay the bills. But you're happy with who you are, and you're doing your best, and you have a certain mindset, a certain happiness level. And then you may transgress through the world of finance and global stardom, etc. But you get there, and then you have all the disadvantages that come with that. And then you have the advantages also. I'm not complaining, more money, more problems, but at least you're rich. But then you're at the same level of contentment. I don't think you're any more or less content anywhere along the journey. I don't feel any different than 2019, if that makes sense. It's really interesting when I try and analyze my successes and how well I've done across the last 3 years. And I feel like it's pretty similar to air resistance. As a car is trying to go faster and faster, the wall of air it's competing against gets stronger and stronger. And I do believe where you get to in your life is down to how aerodynamic you are as an individual. How much stress can you adopt?